Join us on this tea time chat where we share our authentic perspectives on all things spiritual.
It's real, it's raw, it's unfiltered.
A quick note before we begin. The views shared in this podcast are our personal perspectives and are intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. This podcast is not medical, psychological, legal, or financial advice. Please use your own discernment and consult a qualified professional where appropriate.
Well, hello again. Welcome to today's episode number 12. Thank you so much for joining us once again. And we are so grateful that you are still on the journey with us. If you're new to us, welcome. And we highly recommend that you maybe just go back and watch some of our earlier episodes. That'll introduce you to who we are and sort of what we've been sharing. It's all about healing and empowerment and spiritual awakening and all kinds of things.
Finding your truth, standing in your sovereignty. And the episodes build upon each other.
That's
So,
right. Yeah, they do build upon each other. We just keep going a little deeper and deeper on certain topics. But today is going to be a little different.
We got story time today.
Story time
with
So,
Concetta and Cynthia.
you got it. So
Pull up
what
a
are we
chair,
doing? What are we
grab
talking
some
about?
tea.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Snuggle in your blanket because here we go. We are saying today's topic is the ancients were onto something.
The ancients were onto something, and you're probably wondering, like, what are they talking about? But we're going to take you along for a little story ride. Today's going to be a fun journey.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, come along with us, and we're going to dive down some fun holes, little rabbit holes, whatever you want to call them. And we're going to share stories about history and things that maybe you may or may not have heard about. We're going to talk a lot about a specific civilization called the Tartarian Empire. And maybe you have heard of it, or maybe you haven't.
I had not.
You had not. And a lot of people have not. A lot of people say that it's just a mystery or made up or a conspiracy, but we're gonna tell the story. And please, we are not saying that we know everything. Always use your discernment, do your own research, trust what you receive, discern, leave what resonates, keep what resonates, leave what doesn't.
Yeah.
And really, we're just gonna have a little fun today. So yeah. So before we start, do we want to just like maybe do a little intention or anchor in the
Intention time.
energy?
Yeah.
Or what does it feel like for you today?
I think let's intention to have some open-mindedness fun.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, let's bring that childlike energy back.
Ooh.
The what if energy.
The what if.
The playful, inquisitive child.
The curious child.
Yeah.
I
Let's
like
bring
that.
Her back.
I like
bring
that.
him and her into this story time.
Yeah, I think that's a really great idea because we're gonna have fun. Yeah, so let's be joyful. Let's dive in. So
okay, teach
us.
Teach us, teacher.
Well, so you have not heard about the Tartarian
I have not.
Empire. Okay. So it's been talked and told that between 1500 to 1800s there was a civilization called the Tartarian Empire. And if you actually look at old maps as early as the 16, 17, 1800s, all the way up into the early 1900s, those old maps actually show landmass, very large landmass called Tartaria. So it is actually documented. And then those maps kind of just made their way out and was replaced by our modern day maps. Tartaria was kind of in the area that you would kind of call Russia, but encompassed a very large area and a lot bigger than, you know, it was a large landmass and it was just one giant empire, okay? Now, what's really interesting about this Tartarian Empire is they were a very, very advanced civilization. Advanced,
Mm.
meaning they were so technologically advanced in energy, in
Mm.
healing modalities, in technologies, and a lot of what we are now starting to tap into comes from that era. But
Mm.
we're going to just talk a little bit about like what happened
Yeah.
between when Tartaria was around versus today and what possibly happened and why has Tartaria disappeared.
Mhm.
So, we're going to just
Yeah.
tell that story.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
So, again, stay with curiosity, like Cynthia said. Like, bring in that child because it's if you can listen with an open mind, you're actually going to be able to receive
Oh.
frequencies that are going to resonate with you, and you'll know
Mm.
within that energy if what we say may in fact be true for you or not. It's only when we filter ourselves with beliefs that we shut that out of our periphery. Does that make sense?
So, are they like the Mayans where they're just living in a different dimension, or are they just gone?
Well, Mayans were a different civilization, but similar in the sense that I truly believe that they still exist
Yeah.
in a different frequency.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We just can't see them anymore
Yeah.
because, well, we just can't see them because our frequency as a collective,
Mm.
we fell in consciousness during the Great Reset,
Yeah.
which is all kind of tied into,
Oh, so they're like Atlantis. They're like they've
yeah,
fallen kind of.
they're still around.
Ah.
They still exist. We just,
Oh.
and I'm gonna get into that part
Okay. Okay.
because
Sorry.
that's gonna be like
I'm too.
really
I'm too ahead.
out there. If you can't fathom the possibility, it's gonna sound really like get out of here.
Ooh.
But it's really exciting. So let's go through this
Yes, you have
journey.
my attention.
Yeah. So I just want to start off by saying, what if everything we've been taught about history has been missing some really big, important, key
Hmm.
aspects? So
Mm-hmm.
just sit with that for a second. Like, what if, and this is
You
all about
mean they lied
curiosity,
to us? What?
could they have lied? Could they have omitted?
Oh
Could
yes,
they have
right. Omit
hidden?
omission. Yeah.
Because hiding things or omitting things is a form of lying,
Yeah.
right? When you're leaving things out.
Mm.
And you have to ask yourself, why on earth would they want to erase or hide this part of our history? Well, we're
Mm.
going to we're going to dissect that a little bit, okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, we're going to go back to Tartaria and their technology. So, if you guys, I don't know if you've ever heard of the world fairs. Have you ever heard of the
Mm-mm.
world fairs? Now, they have done movies. And again, movies
Ah.
are the
Mm-hmm.
window.
Telling the truth. Yeah.
They always have to show us the truth through movies. And again, like that's through we comply, and when we watch, we are giving consent to them
Mm.
showing this truth, but we don't realize that it's true because we
Mm.
think it's all science fiction.
Mm.
But many movies have depicted this era.
Mm.
Um, the intricate, beautiful buildings, the tall buildings, the blimp like planes that used to fly and would kind of fly over buildings. I even went to see, oh my god, it just reminded me. I went to see Cirque du Soleil. And one of the shows that we went to see was all based on this era.
No
And I'm
way.
like, that is so cool. They call it punk, but it's kind of connected to that Tartarian era.
Oh.
But basically, back in 1893, they had this big world fair in Chicago. I believe it was Chicago. And in that world fair, it was this grandiose fair of showing technologies of its time.
Mm.
And these buildings were extravagant. I mean, like extravagant to the point where it was so big you could have fit um, like cities into these
Oh,
buildings. They were massive,
holy cow.
and they were showing these technologies of their time. And like that's kind of around the time when Nikola Tesla was living, around the discovery of free electricity. Um, they had anti gravity vehicles and the healing temples with the bells and the
Mm.
frequency healing. That was all in that era. But they exhibited these wonderful technologies in these world fairs, and people would come from all over to go and to see these fairs. Now, these buildings that hosted this world fair were built in like 2 years. Now, when I'm speaking about these buildings were intricate, we're talking about, like, for example, think of buildings in Europe, the giant
Like
cathedrals
cathedrals? Yeah.
with the 50-foot doors and the tall spires
Like
and
you're
like
like, how did they build this?
exactly.
Yeah.
And so these buildings, monstrous buildings that they built within 2 years for this world fair, at that time they told us that we just had horse and carriage. Now, how do you build these intricate, high technology level buildings with horse and carriage? That is just the question that I always said. And even when I went to Italy a couple summers ago and I stood in front of these ginormous cathedrals, and I'm thinking, wow, like the technology to build those buildings had to have come from a civilization that was capable, that had higher tech.
Mm-hmm.
And the Tartarian era, because they used frequency to levitate objects,
Mm.
they used frequency to balance energies, they used frequency was the technology that the Tartarian
Ooh, I just got
Empire
goosies.
had. And they were of that era where that was what that's how they lived. Everything was based on frequency and energy and vibration.
Mm.
Okay,
Who
so
said something about that? Could it be Tesla?
it was Tesla. If you
did,
want to know,
did you quote him in episode
I think I did. I think I did. So
7?
because of energy, everything is energy, and energy, if utilized as a technology, can bring a lot of amazing things. Healing, sound healing,
Mm.
frequency healing. I mean, we know that's true, it exists today, but we're really just tapping into an ancient technology that was being utilized at the time
Mm.
when it was in its full
Potential.
glory.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had these world fairs, and there was also in 1915 we had another world fair in San Francisco, same thing. And so what's happening now in this time, it's been happening for years, is a lot of archaeological sites have been discovering cities underground, buildings underground that go, you know many floors below, and cities that are underneath. And they're like, wow, like this is of an era that we can't, like, we don't understand,
We
like
can't place.
Well, it's because of how we've been taught about history
Oh.
doesn't match with what they're
Discover.
discovering.
Mm.
And they're like, what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
These buildings are extravagant. They're amazing. Like to build these things, like what kind of technology did they use? So that's kind of coming to the surface right
Mm.
now. And they've been doing documentaries, like, for example, Ancient Aliens. If you've ever watched that show on Netflix, they go around to these ancient sites all over the world, and they're discovering through sonar technologies and things that go underground to kind of see like what's really under there. It's not just what we're seeing above, it's like what's underneath. And they're discovering sites that are telling a whole different story of many
Mm.
many ancient civilizations predating, like going back to Atlantis, Lemuria, the Mayans. I mean,
Wow.
every civilization that existed before ancient were far more advanced than our human race.
Yeah.
And yet, we've always been told and taught that we are at the peak of our technology, that we are the most intelligent species that ever existed. And it's like, really? Like, really?
Yeah, I call bullshit.
I call bullshit. Exactly. And so for those curious, inquisitive minds like mine
Yeah.
that likes to dig and do research, I start to connect the dots and put things together. And
Yeah.
so there are maps that you can actually see that Tartaria did exist. That's what the maritime, the people that used the ships back in the day would use those to navigate. And even some like not too recent past use these. They're like maritime maps
Hmm.
that show a different map. And
Oh.
it's just that we can't access them on a day to day because it's been kind of hard to find. But if
Mm.
you know how to do your digging, how to do your research, you can find some very interesting things. And actually, my dad, I should have taken a picture because my dad actually has a really old map that's framed, and it is completely different from the
Oh.
map that we learned when we went to school.
Oh.
And I should have taken a photo. I never even thought about. I just remembered that it's something an old world map. They
Yeah.
called it the old world map.
Oh.
Okay, so anyways, anyways, this civilization Tartaria is pretty amazing. The reason why I wanted to bring this specific one up is because of the connection of energy and frequency and vibration,
Mm.
which we often talk about in our podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything is energy, healing is all about energy, frequency, vibration, and like understanding maybe a little bit more about our past will give us a better understanding of our future, because
Mm.
as we are evolving in this time, we are going to go back to what we once were.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's new technology, it's actually ancient technology that's coming.
We're remembering.
It's a remembering.
Yeah.
So it's really fascinating when you can kind of like think about it that way,
Yeah.
right? So um, what happened too
Hmm.
is um, there was, so in the late 1800s, there was a cataclysmic um, event that wiped out all of Tartaria, supposedly. And it was like a mud flood. I don't
Mm.
know if you've ever heard of that, the Great
Mm.
Mud Flood. And that was a time when there was this massive mud flood that literally came and wiped out all of these beautiful buildings. And they all got buried
Oh.
underground, except for there are still some of these Tartarian buildings that stand. And if you take a really, really close look, the majority of the government buildings all over the world are from this era. Just look at the architecture, look at the height, look at the dome ceilings. Because when they built back then, they built domes because domes, it's all about the resonance and how the
Mm.
frequency moves and bounces off the walls.
Mm.
And much like the cathedrals, I mean, I've been to so many when I was in Italy, and I was just awestruck. I was like, wow, like just standing in the middle of the church, you can hear the vibration when people are talking, how it moves around and
Mm.
bounces. They used to use those buildings as healing chambers.
Oh.
People would go into those buildings and they would heal with sound and
Mm.
frequency, the bells, all
Yeah.
of the bells in the churches. And back then as well, in those towns and cities back in that era, the bells rang in the city because it would
Mm.
help recalibrate and balance everybody's energy. It was always healing.
Yeah,
There was always a
like
high vibration
yeah, you're
around.
saying that and I just feel like that's so peaceful.
It
Like
was.
hearing bells in the city, like in
Yes.
the town, like that would
Well, bells are
just
high
feels peace.
vibration.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
And another thing that bells do is they dispel negative energy.
Oh, well,
They
there you
break
go.
up dark energy, and
Hmm.
dark entities don't like bells.
Mm.
That's why if you there are some people who practice witchcraft, and not the evil. I'm talking witchcraft
No
like
light.
light.
Light, yeah.
Will use bells,
Ah,
or the
you know what's
people have
so
bells on their
true? I
door.
do. I have bells that I got from
Yes.
my witchy friend.
And that's because bells dispel negativity. It stops that energy
Oh,
from coming into your home. Again, sound healing.
healing.
So bells are very high frequency, and they had these massive, massive bells. And there are photos. If you do your research, you will find old photos. There are photos that got through that showed some of these bells were so big they were the size of a house.
Whoa.
And what they
Can you
did,
imagine the vibration
oh,
coming off of
oh,
that? Oh,
that was
man.
the thing. Those bells were so healing. It kept
Mm.
everybody in good health and high
Oh,
vibration.
yeah.
They were a very happy, healthy civilization,
Yeah.
right? So another really interesting thing about the Tartarian people is that they were very tall. They
Oh.
ranged from 8 to 12 feet in height.
Oh.
And there have been documented digs that they've discovered giant skulls, giant bones, which the
Hmm.
Smithsonian Museum quickly kind of took away and hid and did not want it out. I mean, this again is all documented. What I am sharing is available on the internet. Like you can look it up and it's available. Although, people try to say, "Oh, it's not real," but you discern. You
Hmm.
discern. Um but anyways, so all you have to do is look at the churches in Europe and the tall doors. I mean, when we were on the coast, the Amalfi Coast, and we went to one of the cities, and it was called Amalfi, the town of Amalfi. And you walk up these stairs, and I'm talking like you are walking and walking to the top where there's this like massive church,
Oh.
and the doors were so big. I literally was, my breath was taken away. These doors were so massive, Cynthia. And I'm like, little people like us built a church with 50-foot steel thick doors for what? Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
think about it. They were massive, but what they did is like, so the big doors don't actually open. They have little ones at the bottom that
Oh.
open. So like we can go through the little one, but the big ones were massive. And again, old buildings of that caliber, of that architecture, that intricate um, technology that they built was so incredible. And they were so large, these buildings, because these people were very, very tall
Lord.
people.
Yeah.
There's also pictures of, even with indigenous some indigenous tribes of photos with them and giants together,
Yeah.
where you actually can see the people and then the giants because they were friendly. Everybody
Oh,
got along back then, right?
yeah.
So these are some of the interesting things that happened and existed until this mud flood came in. And so, why did this mud flood happen? Now,
Yeah.
you could say it was a freak of nature, and hey, things happen. Or is it possible that certain technologies got into the wrong hands,
Mm.
and that possibly this was a means of resetting an entire civilization to hide it? Because they were bringing so much good to the future, and what it meant for the future was free energy and powerful technologies that were free. Like, imagine
Mm.
living in a world where you don't have to pay for electricity, where
Like where you don't have to bust your ass
you
to
don't have to bust your
work for
ass.
somebody and just so
Exactly.
you can pay your bills and
Right.
pay your medical.
Right.
Mm.
Just think of that for a minute. So, storytelling.
Mm.
This mud flood happened and buried the majority of Tartaria and all of the buildings. So there's cities that are buried underground that are now being discovered. So you want to call it a myth, you want to call it a conspiracy. It really doesn't matter, because what is being revealed and unearthed is the truth. So yeah, so the evidence is fascinating. I mean, it really challenges everything that we've been taught, right? Like,
Mhm.
just just thinking about that, like how, what we've been taught, and like, could that maybe not be all true,
Yeah, like
right?
missing pieces.
Missing pieces, because there is so much that doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
It really doesn't. And again, like, from an era of horse and carriage, how do you have such elaborate
Mm.
buildings that are so massive? I mean, you had to have had some type of technology to help build those
Yeah.
buildings. Just like the pyramids. That's
I was
another
just
one.
thinking about, yeah, the
Yeah.
pyramids and
The
like
pyramids. Like, how do little people with chisels and little sticks back then, because again, they didn't have anything,
yeah,
how do little people build such massive giant pyramids that are like 50 feet, or like,
aligned with
and
like
perfectly aligned,
energetic.
right?
Yeah, like yeah.
So these are questions that you have to ask, because things just don't make sense. And
Mhm.
somewhere along history, there's a big gap. And so by diving into these rabbit holes, you can kind of start to maybe pull out some of the things that, could it be true?
Mhm.
Maybe it's true. I don't know. Like, that's for you to decide. But some of the ancient technologies, I think I've already touched upon that. So, like, the bells and sound healing was a big one.
Mm.
And there's there was a story that they told people, that they got rid of the bells for whatever reason it was. They came in and they got rid of the bells. It was
Mm.
around a certain, I mean, it was in the late 1800s. There was wars going on. There was a lot of like negative low vibration stuff that started to happen around that time.
Mm.
And so the town bells were all taken down and buried. They buried them. Now, as they're digging in parts of the world, they're starting to discover bells. And it's
Wow.
like, holy smokes, this bell is so massive. Where did it come from? So, again, questions, curiosity,
Yeah.
missing parts, and again, frequency healing buildings such as cathedrals and temples. So, you
Mm.
look at the mathematical, um, the way that the windows were designed, and the
Like the
symmetry,
geometry of
the
it.
geometry,
Yeah.
like it's math. It is mathematics in architecture. that is so advanced. And how did they build things like that?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect, symmetrical, where
Yeah.
sound could move in certain ways to provide the best resonance, because frequency hit the walls and projected into people's space and bodies, and people would go there and be in these healing chambers and receive energy healing through sound, just like we do now through sound healing.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking like it's pretty like sound baths are great, but man, to be in a cathedral like that would just that's a whole other level.
Yeah.
That's like
And why have they gotten rid of all of those giant organs and all of those beautiful cathedrals?
yeah.
They used to all have organs. Now some
Oh
of them still have
yeah.
organs, but they used to
But they're
play
not
them.
played.
No,
They play a piano.
exactly. The organs also were part of that, because the sound in those
Oh.
churches, the way that it just reverberated, it penetrated your body. You would feel those vibrations,
Mm.
right?
Wow.
So beautiful, beautiful um, buildings that they had, and everything. You just look at how they did the light, like the windows, the glass windows, colors that come in when the sun would hit through. Colors are
Mm. Yeah.
frequency. It's all used in a way to,
Coherence, I just
yes,
heard. Oh.
coherence, natural flow of
Yeah.
energy,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So, um, and they also back then had water powered vehicles, believe it or not. They did. They even show us in movies. They, they show us. So they had technology back then that was free. You didn't need to pay for gas. You didn't
Mm.
need to pay for coal. You didn't need to pay for electricity, because it was already there being utilized in a way that was free for everybody, but it was also of a higher technology and frequency.
Mm.
So it was a beautiful time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, all of this old knowledge, this ancient technology and knowledge, was suppressed and hidden from us. Um, it's just unbelievable. But the connection to our modern discoveries, because
Quotations.
we are coming into that era,
Yeah.
we're slowly coming back to that, and it's because of remembering.
Yeah.
And as we shift in this spiritual awakening,
Mm.
as our frequency rises, the collective is shifting. We're coming back to those rememberings of what we once had. So sound healing, frequency healing, energy healing, it's all just an old ancient technology that we're starting to anchor that back in,
Mm.
because we're remembering that.
Yeah.
It's part of who we are.
And we're feeling the effects of it
We are.
because we're more, I guess, open to it.
Yes, because that civilization was very high vibration,
Mm.
right? Before things shifted and fell
Mm.
in consciousness. So humanity kept in the dark. Now, I just want to talk about this because, yes, again, you may want to call it a conspiracy, but is it? Why would they want to keep this history or this
Mm-hmm.
information from us?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's be honest. Who's making money on utilities, on electricity, on water, on gas? Who's making money? I mean, how are we benefiting from that?
Mm-hmm.
So, when you have powerful groups of people that want to be in control, and we've talked about
Mm.
this, we've talked about the patriarchal system and how we've been in thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years of darkness, but especially in the last, I'm going to say, like, we really crashed deep in darkness in the last like couple hundred years.
Mm.
And people who control the resources control the world.
Yeah.
People who control the resources control the world. And So why would they want to let us have free resources when they can control it and create scarcity through it and make people feel like there's not enough and that they're going to allow us to use these, but we have to pay for it? It begs the question, why do we have to pay to live on a planet that was created by God and has given everything to us
Yeah,
from the
it kind
creator?
I never thought of that, but yeah, now I'm thinking as you're talking, if water is free, why do we have to pay for it?
That's a very good question. And that's something
Like
that,
I never thought about
yeah,
that, but yeah,
yeah.
we do pay for water.
Why do we pay for water? It's infinite. It's natural, it's abundant, and again, like God created everything, and we are the only species on this planet that pays to live here.
Yeah,
Think about it,
that's true.
right? So, yeah, so like
Wow.
we pay to live here, and there's people that are getting very, very, very wealthy and very rich by controlling these resources. So that was one of the reasons why they had to eliminate a certain civilization,
Mm,
because that did not fit their plan for their control where they wanted the
mm,
world to go. And that's when we started to get into like oil and gas and power lines, electricity. And oh, you want to heat your home, you're going to have to pay for it. Oh, you want water, you're going to have to pay for it. And they made it just, it became just the way that we adapted to a new era. But it's because that previous era was erased. We did not
mm,
know about that.
mm,
So, what you don't know, you can't really say anything because you just think, well, that again, it's that lack, that scarcity, that fear,
mm,
and being enslaved and controlled in that matrix or system where we always have to feel in that survival mode of we have to pay. This is how it is. This is how it is. But look at who owns these corporations, these utility companies. I mean, we our governments are they're actually registered corporations and operate as businesses. And within a governmental structure, there is many subsidiaries. All you have to do is look at
mm,
like cities are incorporated.
mm.
I mean, that alone right there tells you that the business within a business.
I know it's interesting because they'll say, "Oh no, we're non for profit." Like they balance out the budget, but I have heard many stories
Mm,
where they just will dig up a road and repave it
yep,
because that way they don't lose their budget for next year and will get more money. Why are we doing that? Why,
well,
like,
it's all an illusion. It's just to keep people believing in a system that was designed to keep us
hmm.
asleep and unaware and unconscious to what's been happening.
I heard this story at a different part of the world. Somebody was saying that certain people have seen things like these tall people, and like these little communities know about it. They know about the people, and they just kind of like, they respect them, like they give them their space and they respect them. But these are like, they say they're like 8, 10 foot
Yeah,
tall. Um, so could it be part of the civilization didn't?
could be. It could be.
Mm,
Another fascinating thing that I discovered in my research is that there's many family lineages surviving that when they go back to do their family tree somewhere around the late 1800s, nothing exists before that. There is suddenly no
well, I just got
documentation.
goosebumps.
So, and this is not just one or two, this was like many, many, many family lineages that just it gets to like 1880 something, or like late 1800s, around the time this mud flood or reset happened, that there is no document, no, nothing documented, no history of these family lineages. And that's another fascinating thing, right? It's like, well, why did everything just disappear?
Mm.
Like, what is it that they don't want these people to discover about their ancestors? That maybe these lineages, many lineages today, are connected to this civilization,
Mm.
probably more than we think, right? So it's just asking the questions.
Yeah.
And when you ask the questions, and you can just kind of start to feel like, could it be true?
Yeah.
Is it true? Is some of it true? I mean, I don't know. I'm speaking
Mhm.
from my own perception and understanding, and I just want to share this because it is so fascinating to open your mind
Mm.
to so many things that maybe, like, that has been kept from us, that we can start to learn and discover, rediscover again about who we really are and where we really come from. And then,
Yeah.
like, even further from that, it's like, well, where did humanity really come from?
Mm.
Like, did we really evolve from an ape, or a standing erectus, the hairy man,
Yeah.
or is there something prior to that? Like, where did humans really come from?
Mm.
And that's where I like to talk about the galactics, because
Mm.
galactics, and it might sound really, really out there, but I mean, they're real.
Mhm.
And we all at some point came from
Mm.
a different star system,
Yep.
right? Because
Yeah.
Earth is really just
Just a
one
baby.
small, very, yeah, it's one of the youngest um, planets and solar systems out
Mm.
of the entire universe.
Mm.
So, like, anybody that thinks that we are the most intelligent species in the universe, I mean, I'm sorry, but you really have to have your head in the sand if you really think that.
Yeah.
There is just so much more that we don't even know or understand about. And thank God
Mm.
we are at a time where we're now starting to remember and learn and rediscover parts of our history and where we
Without the fear
really
of
come
being
from.
murdered, I guess.
Yes, because
Because
many
I feel
people,
like
yeah,
there had like I've heard stories of somebody who like I don't know the names or whatever, but you read things online of like people who have discovered like water powered vehicles, and then they just disappeared.
yeah.
I mean, again, could be conspiracy theory. I don't know if it's
It
real or
could
not.
be. I mean,
Um,
the
but
coincidences are far too
yeah.
frequent, right?
Mm.
But a lot of these people who have disappeared for discovering these were really just bringing that remembrance
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we can't have this. So that's part of why a lot of that happened. And
Mm.
same with Nikola Tesla.
Mm.
Like, they took all of his work. They stole his work and then they hid it because he was trying to share with people, like, this is the free technology, we're going to move forward, right? Bring it for everybody. And it just wasn't going to happen for certain people, which is
Mm.
unfortunate, but that's okay because we're going back to that.
Mm.
We're going back to that. And we may not
Mm.
see it happening tomorrow, but it's coming.
Mm.
And I've had visions and flashes of this world that's coming.
Oh wow.
And little by little, as we collectively continue to raise our frequency
Yeah.
and shift, we're going to see so many new technologies coming. And they're already coming fast and furious. One thing I just want to share is, like,
Mm.
there was about 6,000 technologies and patents that were suppressed that we have not been privy to.
Mm.
About 6,000. And they're going to start to be releasing these, and they already have.
Because they can
Um,
only hold it for like 50 years. Is that it?
Something like that, or
Oh, okay.
whoever's been running this world can do whatever they want
Mm.
apparently.
Mm.
But yeah, many of these technologies are going to be released to the public because it's
Oh.
time, and because
Mm.
we're ready
Mm.
for that again. Now,
Oh.
some are going to say this is new. Well, it's new to us because of our limited consciousness,
Mm.
but it is really just a rediscovered
Mm.
technology that has always been. It's just that we're now ready to receive them back.
Oh my god, this is so crazy. Like I just heard the galactics. Like there's a group that's been with us since the last few episodes. And I just heard that they're gonna be like they're the ones leading the charge
Yes, they
to
are.
release this information. Like
Yes,
we will be seeing them
we will be.
shortly.
Yes.
We will see you shortly. So
Yeah,
and not to be
and
afraid. Like don't.
no.
This is not like this is where you have to like really do the work right now to go within and like really know your truth and discern. Like intuition and discernment because what's gonna come. This is the where you would need um that discernment and intuition. Like I just keep hearing like what's to come is it's kind of like what we talked about in the last episode with COVID. But
Yeah.
not like it's not going to be bad. It's just like
Well, it's going to
you
be,
need the discernment.
you will need the discernment because there's always going to be infiltration in information. And that's all part of
Yeah.
this controlling people, is you confuse people to the point where they just don't believe anything anymore.
Mm,
Well, they'll believe certain things and they'll dismiss others. And sadly, what they've done is they've inverted everything, where they made the truth a lie and
mm.
the lie the truth, right?
Ah, okay. I just saw what or like got more information what they were trying to say. Like we're gonna see them.
Oh yeah, we are.
We're gonna see them, and what's gonna happen is they're gonna try and do like what they did with COVID or the witch trials. Is like they're just gonna try and make you be afraid, scared, fearful.
Yeah, but who's going to do that? It's not going to be the
The
galactics.
propaganda
Yes,
people.
that's right.
So
The ones
that's
that are trying to
right.
suppress.
The fear
Yeah.
mongering is going to ramp up because we're
Mm.
going to see them and people will get scared. And so they're going to feed that fear. And what they're asking is for you to go in, go within, right? Like do the work. Because when they show up, then you can intuitively decide for yourself if it's what one party is saying or if it's what you feel, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
kind of like the whole with we talked about with the COVID and the shot.
Mhm.
It's like you need to discern for yourself.
And again, base it on frequency. Like anything to me that comes through as fear based is often propaganda.
Mm,
That's how I'm able to discern a lot of
mm,
the times. What is the frequency? What are they trying to make us feel? Because again, when you're in fear, it blocks you from accessing your truth,
yeah.
your intuition. And part of propaganda, part of what this patriarchal system has done is use
Mm,
fear as a weapon to control people and suppress people from growing and connecting to that
wow.
part of themselves, right? That's
No
ultimately.
wonder they came through in the last few episodes.
Mm,
Is because this this is what's coming.
it is coming. Yep.
And this is why all these things are happening to build our sovereignty, our that internal compass of truth within us,
Yeah.
so that when they come, we can discern
Exactly.
what's right
Yeah.
and what's illusion, because they'll probably, I feel like they'll probably be they'll probably infiltrate that too and be like, oh, these are the good aliens and these are the bad ones or something.
Yeah. I
And
kind of laugh when people are scared of aliens. It's like, listen, they have technologies that we have no freaking idea. If they wanted to annihilate us,
yeah.
they would have done it a long time ago. I mean, think about that for a
Yeah.
second, right?
Yeah, it's true.
It's actually been the opposite. The galactics have actually been here to help us.
Mm,
They have been assisting us, especially the last 50 to 70 years.
mm,
They have been in the background helping
mm,
anchor energy to make sure that we don't annihilate ourselves. And there has been documentaries and people have actually that have worked in Area 51 and all of these like secret, they've actually said like they have reverse engineered spacecrafts. They that why can't you go to these areas because it's secret. They have controlled the alien narrative for their own benefit to
mm,
make us fearful because again, this is part of our ancestry.
mm.
We we are connected to
And
everything.
that's why they try to build the fear, because when you have the fear, you lose that connection to your truth. But if you have the connection to your truth, you're able to feel what's true. Like when they came through in the episode 10, I could feel their their energy. I could feel that
They're very
they
loving.
were good, they were of the highest light, and that's why
Yes.
I allowed them to come through
Yeah.
my body. I Because I have a very strict rule.
Hmm.
um so yeah, like you want to be in tune with that inner gut feeling, so that I guess when they do come, the correct ones, the not the fake ones, you will know, you will
Well,
feel it.
there are no fake ones. They've
Well,
been eliminated. I
no,
mean,
I
we're going
like,
to see it through
wouldn't.
Project Bluebeam is I think what they'll probably do to scare people. If anything, if they're going to try to play the scary side of it, it will
Mm,
be done through the technology of Project
mm,
Bluebeam,
which is
which is holographs that look so
okay.
real,
That's, yeah, because I'm like,
right?
they're gonna use AI to do something
They
to
have
make
the
it
technologies,
fake.
of
Yeah.
course. I mean, again, discernment. At this time, it's all about discernment and
Yeah.
knowing because it's like the dark and the light. There is a spiritual war. The light has already won, but again, it's playing out for the collective consciousness to awaken and
Mm,
to be able to see what has been happening,
rise.
to rise and to
Mm,
choose as
yeah.
well because many want to choose to continue on that timeline of
Mm,
fear and no judgment,
mm,
but that if that's what they came here for and
yeah,
experience, that's
that's true.
okay.
Yeah.
But we have already started, we're already on that other side,
Yeah.
and that's why many things are changing very quickly.
Yeah, the speed of
The
stuff.
speed
Holy
of time, have
shoot.
you also noticed
Yeah.
that time has been speeding up?
Yeah. You know what? I can also play with time. I've
Yeah.
learned how to play with time.
Mm,
Like, I can slow it down.
isn't that amazing?
I mean, no, I can't.
Well, time is a construct. Time is actually a fourth dimensional construct.
Yeah.
It is not real.
Like,
It's
it's
not really
no. Well,
real.
because this existence is not real. Like,
Exactly.
it's like Earth School.
Yes.
But as I think you learn to go to those higher levels of consciousness, like we discussed in episode 7, I believe,
Hmm.
then you're able to manipulate lots of things. I guess like the Tartarians, like you were saying,
Yes.
how you they could manipulate gravity.
Yeah.
And I've had teachers, I've taken courses where teachers, through going into this level of frequency or consciousness, like a spoon that you cannot bend,
Yes.
they bend.
Hmm.
Like they move matter. Um, I've seen it with my own
Yes,
eyes.
I believe it.
And I'm like, and then they're trying to teach us and I couldn't do it. And I was like, damn it. But it takes time.
And here's the thing, you just saying that, I just heard we are the technology.
Oh,
Like we are the technology.
that's it. Oh, yeah.
We like once we learn
How
how
to
to
access.
access these parts of us, our higher levels
Mm.
of consciousness, manipulation of energy, our own frequency and vibration, we are that technology.
Oh,
It's
wow.
us. And again, it's just remembering. So
Yeah.
civilizations like the Tartarian or the Atlanteans or Lemuria or the Mayans or the galactics, they have already mastered that technology. That's why they are
Um,
of that higher frequency.
mm.
That's why they're capable of doing things, and they have those technologies because they have achieved that. We are the babies in this grand,
Mm.
universe that we are just starting to catch up, and they are all excited. They're
Yeah.
like, "Yay,
Finally,
finally,"
we're
because
here. Yeah.
like they had to quarantine Earth
Yeah.
because we were in self-destruction mode.
Oh.
We literally,
Oh,
with war,
yeah.
with nuclear bombs and all of the destruction they were doing, was having a vibrational effect on all of the other um, energies around our solar system and galactic universe.
Mm.
Every Remember, everything is energy.
Yeah.
We're all connected. So what we were
Mm.
doing to ourselves was having a negative impact on those other civilizations. So we ultimately
Um,
got quarantined on Earth. Now, coming back to the Tartarians, and are
mm.
they still here?
Yeah.
Well, because the Tartarians are of a higher vibration, they're still here. We just can't see them. And because when we fell in consciousness, we lost that ability to connect with different dimensions.
Yeah.
And another example is we've heard again the myth of the Sasquatch.
Yes.
People have reported seeing Sasquatch in many different places of the
Lots.
world.
Yeah.
That is a fourth dimensional being that can actually shift from one realm of frequency to another. They're able to go back and forth interdimensionally
Oh,
because
that's
they
so
are of a
cool.
higher frequency. When they're in our
Oh.
realm, we can see them, but then they pop back.
And that's why they disappear. Oh, I
So I
didn't know
think that's
that.
what's happening with the Tartarian Empire or the
So where
people.
people will see these tall people in certain small towns,
Yes.
and then they just kind of
Yes.
they don't see them all the
They
time.
are capable of coming in and out interdimensionally because again, um, as you are on a certain frequency, you go into a different dimension.
Yeah.
So there's like second dimension, third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension.
Oh.
And the higher you get, you're able to kind of pop in and out. Like it's kind of like this. It's
It's like
like,
meditate or like clairvoyant, like the clairs, like you can like
yeah,
in mediumship,
maybe
like you kind of pop.
you can pop. Well, I mean, when you get those clairs, you can kind of go in and out of them,
Yes.
right? Like you
Yeah.
can access spirit and then come
Come
back.
down. Yeah.
It's the same thing. That's multidimensionality.
Okay.
You're going up and down in
But
frequency,
we're not we haven't mastered it in matter
not in
form.
physical form
Mm,
yet,
okay.
but we know that there are certain beings that can walk through walls.
Mm,
And
mm-hmm.
it's all based on frequency and
Mm,
vibration and different dimensions. So like the Sasquatch is a great example, and I
mm,
really do believe that the Tartarians might be in that same kind of
mm.
dimensional frequency where they can maybe pop in to see and then
Yeah.
pop out. But because we were quarantined and we had to be separated from
Mm.
everything because we literally were destroying everything.
Oh, and because we reached a certain
We
pinnacle, like, point,
Yes.
now we're opening up. That's why the
Yes.
veil seems thinner?
That's why. So
Oh
that's why
my gosh,
more
like, just
people. It
recently?
has been just recently. The veil has
Oh.
literally thinned to the point where many people are now starting to see, whether it's interdimensionally or visions, or are starting to, their clairs or
Yeah.
their psychic abilities are coming on, because this is our technology.
Oh,
This is
wild.
who we are. We have always been this. We
Wow.
just are coming back to that remembering of who we are.
Oh.
Isn't that amazing?
I'm excited.
It's very exciting. And like,
I can't wait to levitate shit.
oh man, like I'm
I
telling
try,
you,
but I haven't gotten there
and
yet.
it's coming, and it's coming, and
Yeah.
like more and more people that are coming back to this remembering, because again, awakening is all about remembering. It's about coming back to who you were. We've talked about that in
Mm.
previous episodes. It's not like you're awakening to something brand new. This is
Mhm.
nothing new.
No.
This is who we've been. We
Mm.
just forgot
Mhm.
because the veil was so thick.
Which, like you said, had to be.
It had to be, because we had
Oh,
dropped in consciousness.
wow.
We fell in consciousness, and
Mm.
it was part of what had to happen
Yeah.
to us for this period of time, so that we could learn to go through that process of growth,
Mm.
and getting back to that place where we've now reached through this time. I say time
Yeah.
because, and so that's why so many people are going through their spiritual awakening right now,
Wow.
right? More
That's
people
so
are
cool.
psychic or
Yep.
connecting to spirit.
So many.
More people are seeking out healing modalities,
Yeah.
energy healing, I mean, like, it's not a coincidence.
Mhm.
It's because it's a remembering,
Wow.
coming back to
Oh,
that.
that's so
So
amazing.
Tartarian Empire was just a really good example of part of our history that we
Mm.
just didn't learn, or was kept from us. But there's many, many, many civilizations that go back, that we all came from that. And
Mm.
little by little, we're going to be learning more and more about these, right?
Mhm.
It's very
It's
exciting.
so cool. Like, I've always heard about the Mayans and how they're
Hmm.
living on a different dimension, and
Hmm.
but now I can feel it.
Hmm.
I can feel them more.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And galactics, right? I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely. They're I mean, with what we experienced in
Oh yeah,
episode 10.
that was wild. I mean, and
Yeah.
how like amazing that we did this episode that ties into that episode as well,
Well,
because
because if for people that don't know, we will do a few episodes at the same time.
yeah, we record about 3 or 4 episodes at one time. So we
And
didn't.
so we did not plan, like,
Yeah.
episode 10 was just supposed to be about the truth, and we did not plan what came through.
No.
And it's hilarious because I did not get to read our episode 12 notes. So I did not know, like, what was coming, but obviously they did. And
Mm,
they were like, "Hey, we're going to come through in episode 10 and do some major, like, upgrades for us." Like, we had to literally take,
yeah,
like,
that was
we
wild.
were we had to take time to
Hmm.
integrate.
Yeah,
And
we did. I mean, the energies were
so
so.
I think it was
Yeah,
to build to what we were talking about after,
I think so. I feel
which
like
we didn't know then.
no.
Like, it's just funny. It's
But
funny
I
how it
feel like we're so supported in this, because
yeah.
again, I keep hearing like it's time,
Yeah.
and it's time. It's why we felt it was the right time to do this podcast, and
Mhm.
it's time to start sharing more truths and more information. It's time that we start
Mm.
speaking up more. It's time that we start um, accepting
Mm.
our
It's
gifts.
that sovereignty that you talked about last
Yeah,
episode. It really is. That I feel like what they're saying is that is needed now,
yeah.
so that it will support you
Hmm.
in the near future, kind of thing. Like, it's so important. I don't think it
Very.
should be minimized at all.
Mm-mm. No.
Yeah.
Very
So if you
exciting.
haven't watched episode 11,
10 and 11.
10 and 11,
Yes.
we highly recommend you
Yeah,
to.
11 was pretty powerful, and yeah, we touched upon some pretty important stuff in that
Important,
episode. Yeah,
yes.
that was important.
Underline, double underline, important. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So anyways, I feel like that's what I needed to share, and
That was a fun story
it is
time.
fun, right? And again, discernment, take what resonates, leave
Mhm.
what doesn't.
Yep.
If you're curious,
Do
do some
research.
research.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that if you open your
Mm.
mind, you will learn and rediscover things that have
Mm.
always been there, and you'll know it's true because you'll feel it in your body.
Mm.
You'll just be like, yes,
Mm.
yes. Like, I don't know. I don't, that's how I
Mhm.
discern truth too. It's like I feel it. It's a resonance in my body,
Yeah.
right? You
Well,
just
yeah, because you're connected. You found the truth. You know your intuition. You know your tells,
yeah.
and so you can get there.
Mm,
So that's what basically I think that is what this whole podcast up to this point has been about. I guess
yeah.
is really just helping you find that inner power and that inner truth and that inner compass
Yeah.
because
Well, that it always comes
that's
back
I
to
just
that.
heard that's your ticket for the ride that's
That's
coming up.
oh yeah, I love that.
That's your ticket on the ride.
Get on board
Woo!
because the future is going to
Amazing.
be amazing,
Mm,
and like I
mm,
just envision our new earth
mm,
that's already birthed.
mhm.
It's there's new things that are already happening, and we may not see them on the global stage through your news media, but I promise you
Well, because
they
there's
are happening.
yeah, and I follow a lot of different spiritual teachers, and they have been saying after 2027, like amazing, like
It's gonna be
the 2026, and then a
yeah,
little bit 2027 is just kind of the clearing of the mud,
yeah.
and then there's something amazing supposed to be coming.
Well, I
So,
mean, we're
and not just one person saying it. There's a few.
no, because they're all tapping into that
Yeah.
quantum that
Yeah.
they, like that's when you know that it's there. It's
Yeah.
just around the corner.
Yeah.
And we're going to be seeing some beautiful things like
Oh.
healing chambers and
Mm.
technologies that are going to just help us live healthier lives, and free energy is going to come back, and we're going to
Mm.
see transportation,
Cleaner waters?
cleaner
I don't know. I just heard
water.
that.
Oh
I
yeah,
hope so.
technologies that are going to clean our, well, they're already
Oh.
kind of
Well, that's
starting
true.
that
The ones
process.
that are taking the plastic out of the water.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
And it's
true.
going to just start speeding up more and more and
Oh.
more. And then, like, the exciting part for me is the transportation, like the maglev trains that are going to go so fast that you can get from here to Toronto in like 30 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
How? Like air, like
It's
in the air?
maglev, magnetic levitation.
Oh.
Because again, technologies that
But I just heard we need to have our frequency at a certain or a level to sustain that.
Yeah, so when the collective has reached that collective state,
Mm.
I mean, I'm feeling like it's already being
Built.
built.
Yeah.
We're being prepared.
Wow, things are fast. Holy cow. I
Yeah.
didn't know that they would go that fast.
Yeah, the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to be in a whole different world. Things are just going to really start speeding up.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Okay, do the work.
So do the work.
Come on.
Check in with
Oh,
yourself,
yeah.
and honestly, like, we're in some really exciting times right now. Like, what a time to be alive. Think about it. What a time to be
Wow.
alive. Like, we
I
came for
know.
this
I'm just
time.
thinking people are probably like seeing what's happening right now and being like, what are you talking about? But that's just the muck that has to come.
That's the muck that is being transmuted and cleansed
Yeah.
and cleared, but when
After
you
that,
get through that
yeah.
darkness, you have that clarity on the
Hmm.
other side. Yes.
What a time.
It's a beautiful time. So, well, my
Okay.
friends, I hope you enjoyed story time today.
Thank you. I did.
And let's just end off with the tea time truth bomb. We're just going
Okay.
to end off with that, and then we're going to close out. So, history is not always what it seems.
Mm.
Humanity has been experimenting, healing, and advancing for millennia, and much of it has been hidden from us.
Ooh.
The ancients knew the power of frequency, energy, and resonance, and today it's being rediscovered. The
Mm.
question is, are you ready to reclaim the wisdom that has always been yours?
Whoa! When
Whoa!
you're talking, I
I
had like
got
the
like
shivers. I was like, whoa!
whole body shivers on that one. Are you
Oh,
ready? Well, I am. So I'm
I
like,
did it! Bring on the galactic.
anyways, thank you guys so much. Thanks for joining us. Please like, share, subscribe, and stay
Oh, if
tuned.
you've got stories, put them in the comments.
Oh, yes.
I'd love to
Please
hear stories.
share your stories. Share what
Yeah.
you've learned and discovered and or curious about. And also, if there are topics that
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
want us to talk about or subjects or things that you're curious about, put it in the comments
Yeah.
and we might just pick it and we might do it for one of our episodes. So,
Yeah.
yay! Anyways, we love you. See you next time. Mwah.